Hey, welcome everybody to the 40 Finance channel. My name's Jeff Beers. Today I'm talking about some big news with Turtle Beach stock. They just came out with a special earnings preview, I guess. And if you follow my channel for any amount of time, you probably know that I am an owner of Turtle Beach. And I've been through a lot of ups and downs with this stock, so to see this great news come out is awesome. Is there still time to get into Turtle Beach and take advantage of these massive sales numbers that they're posting? We'll talk about all those things. Just a reminder, as always, my stock picks and projections are for entertainment purposes only. Please talk to a financial professional before investing in the stock market. If, however, you do enjoy stock market analysis, going deep on stocks like Turtle Beach, talking about personal finance and investing ideas, then please subscribe to the 40 Finance channel. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. All right, so let's jump right into the announcement. And this came out yesterday, June 16th. And the big news is for the second quarter of 2020, which they weren't expected to report on until August. So that's what this press release is giving folks sort of a heads up that things are going well, right? Sales expected to reach record levels, more than 75% higher than the same quarter in 2019. And I highlighted a block here. Company now expects sales in the second quarter of 2020 to range between 74 and 77 million compared to 41 million reported in the second quarter of 2019. This number would also exceed Turtle Beach's previous record of 60 million reported in the second quarter of 2018 by at least 21%. They go on to say this was when demand for console headsets was fueled by Fortnite. And on May 7th, the company provided an outlook for second quarter 2020 sales between 42 and 47 million. All right, so bottom line, they were anticipating 42 to 47 million dollars in Q2. They're now looking, between 74 and 77. So this is pretty big. These aren't Google numbers, obviously, but for a company this size, it's a massive beat. So a lot to think about right now with Turtle Beach, and we'll get into some of that stuff here in just a second. But the bottom line is, even when the Fortnite craze was going on back in 2018, the sales that we have right now were even better than that time period. Obviously, the lockdown played a monster role in this. And if you recall a video I did about a month ago, we were talking about Turtle Beach headsets being sold out on websites like Amazon and even Turtle Beach's own website. So we knew good things were coming. They kind of sandbagged it, though, when they did their earnings release in April, coming out and saying, well, we think maybe 47 million for Q2. Now they're coming out with the official press release, say, actually, closer to 77 million. This happens sometimes in manufacturing because it takes so long to figure out the supply chain and how it's being replenished. And when you get to a sold out status, you can't always tell how long it's going to get, how long is it going to take to go from sold out to back in stock to having back stock when those new units sell. So that's probably the game. They're being ultra conservative here, and it was nice of them to do this press release. I understand it's good news, but it was good for them to do this press release because they sort of sandbagged on their last quarterly earnings. All right, last text here on the press release I want to highlight. Looking toward the balance of the year, while it remains unclear the extent to which current sales surge represents pull forward of sales that might otherwise have occurred, we anticipate being able to reflect all or most of the increased second quarter revenue when we provide updated full year guidance as part of our next quarterly earnings report. We expect to enter July with channel inventory still needing significant replenishment. That's really big right there, right? Because they're saying they're still catching up basically to the sold out status that they had. We also expect the higher revenues to drive higher adjusted EBITDA for the quarter and the year, partially offset by higher expediting costs incurred to achieve the sales, aka the cost it took to keep up with the demand. All right, so all that's good news. Let's take a look at Turtle Beach stock to kind of figure out, where it's been and where we're at after the sales announcement. So yesterday on the sales announcement, they saw a pretty big boost. It was in the neighborhood of 25%. We were somewhere in the $11 range, and then that jumped as high as just a little bit over 15 before settling back down. When I did this video today, the stock price was at $14.47, but the market's still open and trading. So you see the growth on the year-to-date chart off to the right-hand side. The thing that gets really interesting with Turtle Beach is just the traditional PE ratio that it trades at is usually fairly low. So whereas everybody else in the market is these, 30, 40, 50x on their PE ratios, right now Turtle Beach sits at 1961, which most people would say is a pretty good ratio. Trailing 12-month revenue, which does not include this press release, right? So we had $225 million last year. Projected Q2 revenue of $75 million after this press release versus the $41 million they had last year. And the most amazing thing, at least in my opinion, is if you look at that market cap number right below my handwritten debt number, this is a company with a market cap right now of $200 million. And their trailing 12-month revenue is $225 million. This is still an opportunity, even at $14.47. I think it just depends now what you think happens with the gaming world. Okay, so let's take a look at the valuation metrics over the past several quarters. If you go all the way to the right-hand side, on September 30th, 2018, we had a trailing PE of 12. At the end of March, that trailing PE was down to 6. So pretty positive. Yahoo had that 19 PE on the previous slide. Sometimes it's hard for me to calculate where they get those numbers. But we'll just go through the quarterly reported PEs. And Turtle Beach in general is down a little bit. It had a slow period in September of 19, basically 2019, right? Where it was attacked by short sellers and there was a lot of doubters in the market. So you see that PE during that stretch was in the 4s. Forward PE is hard to look at because Yahoo didn't give us a number there. But looking back at the quarter that ended at the end of 19, forward PE, I would call that, roughly flat to how it had changed over the past year. The big thing, though, when we start to get down to the bottom is that price per sales number. Rarely these days do you see one that comes in under 1, which is very healthy. And you have a 0.42 there, which has been downtrending over the past several quarters. And then lastly, price to book, which again, now 1 is your target. You don't see a lot of this nowadays with stocks, but price to book has been coming all the way down too. So from a fundamental standpoint, Turtle Beach is a deal right now. The question is, whenever you get these pops of revenue, right, 75 million, and it comes because there was a lockdown, you have to ask yourself, like, how sustainable is it? Will these sales continue to go up? And I think the bright side for Turtle Beach is you have the release of the new video game consoles that are coming out in Q3 and Q4. You also have some things going on the PC and laptop gaming world that could spur demand as well. All right, taking a look at the TipRanks dashboard to see how analysts are projecting Turtle Beach, and there wasn't a lot to find here. There was only 2 analysts who reported over the past 24 hours. So when you have a stock this small, things, they take a while to kind of matriculate on. But what we do have is a median price target of $15.50. On the high side, you have an analyst at 19, and you have a low bar of 13 from another analyst. All in all, we have only got 4 analysts reporting on Turtle Beach, and of those 4, only 2 of them have revised their projections in the past 24 hours. All right, so what does it mean for my opinion on Turtle Beach? I think number one, the bull case that we discussed together in April, that's confirmed. You know, what we thought was going to happen actually happened. And so we're seeing a nice boost to the price, 25% or so since that news came out. So that's good. I think also on the bright side, we have new consoles coming out in Q3 and Q4. Hopefully the economics of America, preserves the opportunity for people to buy those consoles. And if they do, many of them will also update their headsets as well, which is great news for Turtle Beach. On the questionable side, we have to ask ourselves, do we think this sales demand spike is going to steal from the back end of the year, right? So if you were waiting and saving your money for headphones and then you got in this lockdown situation, you might have prioritized it because you got nothing else to do but play video games. So did that pull sales up? I'm hoping that the new consoles make everything that people bought today less intriguing for their new console, right? So maybe if you're going to spend the money on a new PlayStation or new Xbox with all the new technology, you would be interested in upgrading to maybe a better line of headsets made by Turtle Beach, maybe the wireless, maybe, the $150 model. However it works, that is going to be the question, and you thinking about which way or which path to take there is really the only thing that matters with this stock right now. Also, we talked about that market cap, and for me, this is the most incredible fundamental sign that you see is just where they sit at, a 200 some odd million market cap, even though they're probably going to inch over 300 million easily this year in just 12 months of sales. So definitely a bullish sign if you're a value investor. You also had the good news on the price to sales ratio and the price to book ratio. So as a Turtle Beach stockholder, where do I sit? I would put the price target at $20 right now. I think that that's a conservative price target that will almost assuredly happen, certainly by the time they announce the new game consoles. Don't forget that Turtle Beach is a smaller stock and the volume of it isn't as high as you see some of these other things. So there's going to be some big moves, there's going to be some volatility, but to really ramp up the peak, so to speak, I think it's going to take a little more time to get to 20, certainly than I was hoping for. And finally, on my end, hey, I've been in this game with Turtle Beach since, 2018, something like that. I've been holding this stock for a very long time. I have been buying dips to get my cost basis down to about $10.50. I'm going to probably sell it at $16 or $17, depending on how I feel, though, the day that comes out. If it feels like it's bouncing on 16, 17 and it could go down again, I'll likely just take my profits. I've been in this one for longer than I wanted to be, and it's been a great stock, and unfortunately it's just been pulled down by other gravitational forces. So there you have it, guys. That's the big news on Turtle Beach stock. I think there is still some time to get in. I think $20 is very real if you don't mind holding it for another year or so. And the only question remains, do you think these sales will continue into 2020? Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please give me a like and subscribe if you did. I'll see you on the next video.